in the interest of restoring market equilibrium, the conference decided to maintain the production level of 30 million barrels a day as was agreed in December 2011.
All right, fess up, America. Every time you pass a gas station these days, you're rubbernecking to check out the price and then gauging it against what you paid last time. And then you wax poetic about a return to the good old days of cheap fuel and plenty of extra cash to spend on other things. Enjoy the ride, for who knows how long it will really last. Let's welcome back to MidPoint veteran economist and professor of international business at Duke University's Fuqua School of Business, Campbell Harvey. Campbell, thanks for joining us again.
Great to be back on the show.
Campbell, do we have any idea just how long this is going to last? We're told that fracking is going to really put decades more of oil independence on our side. But does anybody really know the facts here?
Well, I think so, but there are some really bizarre stories out here, like OPEC not agreeing to cut because they want to damage the future U.S. shale production. I think that we have to look at this in a broader context, not just of oil, but the entire commodities complex. That you look at other key commodities like copper is down by 33%. Iron ore, which moves with a 0.9 correlation with crude, is down 51%. So basically, the issue here is the decoupling in the world economy. The U.S. is strong. Europe is basically in a no-growth situation, and China is slowing, and China is probably the most important factor here. Given their slowing, has caused all of these key commodities, including oil, to decrease in value.
We are certainly looking, though, fair to say, that the lower oil prices, as was said by the International Monetary Fund chief recently, it must help the global economy, but it certainly is going to help, and it is helping the American economy.
Okay, the answer to this is a classic economist question. It's a yes and a no. Yes, it will help the U.S. economy in the short term. And it's kind of like a tax cut. You've got more money in your wallet, especially very convenient during the holiday season. There's going to be more spending. You're going to see a boost in GDP, maybe up to 0.5% in the short term. In the long term, the answer is no. And the reason is that these lower prices are going to cause less investment in key sectors in the energy sector. We've already seen the announcements of cutting back in capital spending in terms of shale production and other things. That cutback is actually going to bite into GDP in the future. Of course, investment is incredibly important for GDP growth. When that's decreased, it decreases GDP growth, and also it means that less production will be available sooner. So it allows potentially the price of oil to go back up.
1 minute. OPEC kept its former production level of 30 million barrels a day. Appears to be an oversupplied market. They're sitting pat. Is OPEC wrong to think they can outlast the United States on oil prices?
This is not 1973. This is not 1979. The power of OPEC is just exaggerated like crazy. It is true that they have low cost to production oil, and they do have substantial reserves. But the world is a completely different place. The U.S. is a much bigger player than it's been in 40 years. So I think that this is really overplayed. Again, you need to look at the world economy, the decoupling. This is the reason the price is going down. Yes, some OPEC announcement still has some impact in the very short term, but just focusing on OPEC is the wrong thing to do. There are other structural issues that are way more important.
All right, we'll have to discuss those at a later time as well, and OPEC wishes we wouldn't. Campbell Harvey, always a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend. Thanks so much for your expertise.
You're welcome.
All right, other side of the break, one group determined to see peace reign in Ferguson, despite the fact they are not wanted by everybody. As a matter of fact, the police are taking a hard look at a group that is now in Ferguson, wondering if they are there to keep the peace or if they're part of the problem. Stay with us. That and so much more coming up right here on MidPoint, where we question everything.